they actually accept the offer. They actually do teleport to your location. They do take the note card. They do go to the URL. Some of the things we can track, like a URL, taking of an object, the navigation or teleporting to another in-world virtual place. But by giving a note card and so forth, we can't really tell whether or not they accept it. It's just a factor of the platform. And then tracking the metrics is you have to find a way to actually record all the information, and it's a lot of information, and then be able to display it somehow in a meaningful fashion that you'll be able to do iterative improvement and optimization cycles to try to get better engagement through your ads. There are no standards for virtual world advertising. They don't exist. I believe I'm one of the first people to do it. And being as I'm one of the first people to do it, I work with the Web Analytics Association, which is one of the largest organizations globally for web analytics, and they are the people who determine how well banner ads do, how well websites are doing, how to optimize a website to get better engagement, better throughput, better traffic. So using similar techniques from website optimization, we're applying these techniques to virtual world optimization. What you see in the bottom image is an example of the bat. It is a corridor lined wall to wall with ads, and all say the same thing. These ads do not rotate. They're just blocks that were put there by somebody, and they're basically extorting the view. And Linden Lab understood that this was a problem, and they moved aggressively in February of this year to ban such activity. So when they did, there became loopholes, and people are still exploiting these loopholes. And I know for a fact that Linden Lab is working very aggressively to close these loopholes and to make advertising a savory activity versus an unsavory activity. But there are plenty of people who are still unsavory and are using it as a method to extort. AdSoft Networks is our package that we run, and it actually has 4 member networks, which represent the largest advertisers in Second Life. They all use the AdSoft package. We process 15 million impression minutes a month on average. An impression minute is a minute that somebody was around an ad, any somebody. But a unique impression is that person counts only once in our period, in which case we use a month. So even if a single specific avatar was around an ad for 1,000 minutes, they would still only count for one unique impression. And as you can see here, with our 150,000 to 200,000 unique impressions per month, we're looking at about an average ad engagement time of 8 to 10 minutes, meaning that during the month, every one of these avatars, which represents about 20% of the active Second Life user base, will be impressed by one of our ads. I mentioned before we have 1,600 plus terminals. What's also very important is our click-through rates. If you're familiar with web banner advertising or AdSense type advertising on Google, you'll know that the average click-through rate of a considered a successful campaign would be about 0.5%. So 1 out of every 200 people that you impress would actually take some sort of action. We found that a well-designed ad in a virtual world will have double or quadruple that. So they can be very engaging, and people actually do touch them and do take advantage of what they have to offer, and at higher rates than what you find on the web. We know that because we have software in place to track it. Our software will allow you to manage the ad content, the ad rotation, and all of the metrics that the advertisements display, all through the web. As I mentioned earlier, we have the Advertisers Guild, which is the 4 largest advertisers in Second Life joined together to try to fight the uglies. The uglies are those ones that I told you that are anti-ads, and these people are very vocal, and if we did not actually confront them and face them as an organized fashion, they probably would have killed in-world advertising. But we did reorganize, and we have our own ethic guidelines and our code of conduct and a way for people to issue complaints against us, and we will remediate. So a lot of these people who are the ugly are very passionate. They're being so ugly. Some of them do it just for an ego trip, but some of them do it because they're true believers. They believe in utopia power of virtual worlds. And it's utopia and only for them, and no commercial enterprise, and all of the badness in the real world should not actually cross over into the virtual world. But there's also a problem, is that virtual world businesses and virtual world organizations want to get their message out to the virtual world public, have no method with which to do so. There are some other methods provided by Linden Labs, such as classified ads, and they have a new search and so forth. But this isn't something that can, not guaranteed, but certainly help get the sort of numbers that you need in order to drive the traffic levels that you're looking for.
Are you looking at other platforms besides the second line, say OpenSim?
We are already in OpenSim. Our systems are fully ported into OpenSim. We're Third Rock Grid. I don't know if you've heard of that one. And there's Open Grid, which is another one. And we are operating in both of those right now. I guess there's no more questions? Is that kind of anything else? So,
could you show the address again of the presentation?
So, to conclude, advertising in the virtual world is not the same as advertising on the web. When you advertise on the web, you can say, I'm going to pick this top blog, I'm going to pick this top website that has hundreds of thousands of hits a day, and I'm going to put my ad there. And you can pretty much say, well, I'm going to get those same hundreds of thousands of impressions, because that's how many hits they're getting anyway, so I put my banner ad there, that's what I'm going to get as impressions. But the time for impressions on those pages are measured in seconds, sometimes under 10 seconds, sometimes under 5 seconds. The time we're talking about, I don't even count you unless you're there for a minute. So the engagement times are totally different. The metaphor is different, that you don't have the mass audience, so you have to have distributed placement. And the creative becomes even more important, because everywhere you look in the virtual world is eye candy. Where eye candy has typically been that which you have brought people to look at your sign in the real world in the first place, in the virtual world it's everywhere. So we found humor works best. Make them laugh, and then they'll get curious, and then they'll want to see what's there. Anything serious does not do well. Dark colors do not do well. Light, happy colors with humorous sort of themes, and using actual real-world imagery versus virtual world imagery to provide a contrast versus what they're seeing. Because to see an actual person in a picture image versus all of the crayon-colored graphics of the virtual world is something jarring. You notice it right away, and that brings their attention. And I'll reiterate that a well-designed ad campaign in a virtual world can perform better than a well-designed ad campaign on the internet. And this is where you can get the presentation, and I'm going to check to see how I did on time. 3 minutes over.
Well, actually, I didn't even record any of this, but actually I was walking around here at Virtual Worlds, and I saw a lot of interesting stuff. Among other things that I saw was improvements in the HR industry, both doing things that perhaps even Monster would be interested in. There's some other companies that are doing recruitment in World, either by creating an environment there to get other people who are in that in online gaming to come there and then apply for real jobs, or there've been people here looking for people that would need jobs and basically move them from one company to another. Also saw some nice advancements in technology here this time. I'll probably have more to say about it. I just went through one pass, and I'll be posting up the Code for Software talk later today or tomorrow on my blog. But at the same time, I would say that I don't see throngs of people here, because I think virtual worlds is still a niche thing, and so I think it's still growing. But I'll have more to say later. Bye.